sitting back like the seats of an 86 Delta 88 coupe on D's and Bones, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Going live in a minute, Blizzard King. This is Winter Dinner Spurling Podcast. You are rocking with the realest black men represented. Ain't no lies, cause we winning. Catching flies, ain't no feelings. Uncle D, we the villain, baby. We just left the village, baby. Now we in them villas, baby. Dinner Spurling Podcast. Tuning in, we get it, baby. You can hate the player, hate the game. We love all you haters. Hate watch, hate watch. Calling lovely ladies. Hands on your knees, you can thank us later. We snatching the crowns off of queens, we obliterate them. Tell the truth, shame the devil, they trying to eliminate us. You begging the sipping haters, peeling layers off potatoes. Whoa, Southern Cadillac music like Outkast. Ain't jumping without bass, Tennis Spurling Podcast. Whoa, Southern Cadillac music like Outkast. Ain't jumping without bass, Tennis Spurling Podcast. Whoa.
We have to clean up what's going on in our house before we do anything else. What's up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. Yay. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Big shout out to everybody who's coming through, man. Who we got up in here? We got Glory, Glow Hardy. Big shout out to you with the wrenches, all the wrench mob, we got Icy, Ivy Dreams in here. Shout out to the lovely ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Shout out to you, Ivy Dreams. Shout out to Mark, the freelancer, Broken Blade. Big shout out to you, man. Shout out to the whole wrench mob. Hey, what's up? Lately, we've been talking about money. Somebody talk money. Somebody hit the money button. Is there a money button we can hit? We talk about money. Shout out to my man Black Wall Street. Shout out to you. Oh yeah, just a new announcement. So I got my I'm licensed to practice law in Michigan now, state of Michigan. So anybody up in Michigan, if you've been in a car accident, let me know. Shout out to Detroit. I told you I was coming to Detroit. I'm going to open myself a law office in Detroit. I like Detroit. I've always liked Detroit. Shout out to the D. Big shout out to Detroit. I don't know. It's just something about Detroit. I went up there a couple times years back. I just always like Detroit, man. Shout out to the D. It's cold as hell in Detroit, so I'm going to have to get a jacket in Detroit from Detroit because I can't bring a jacket from Houston to Detroit because that clearly is not going to work. So anybody in Detroit that knows where I can get some good winter wear because I'll be up there in the winter, hit me up. Okay, hit me up. So, yeah, man, shout out to Detroit, man. I'm a new, get my law office going on in Detroit, man. Shout out to the D. But either way, big shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to my man, Devin Lockett, Broken Blade. Today, we're going to carry on this conversation about money. And, let's go ahead and, let's get straight into this one. So, patriarchy. Right? It isn't for the weak or broke men or powerless men. If you're not prepared to shoulder the weight of leadership, responsibility, and sacrifice, then you're not ready to be the head of a household. Too many men want to claim the title of patriarch without putting in the necessary work or making the required sacrifices. But here's the harsh truth. Being a true patriarch means understanding that money is not just for personal gain. It's a powerful tool that must be strategically used to secure the success of your family, gain political influence, and build generational wealth. In this discussion, we're going to lay out exactly what it takes to be a real patriarch. We'll We'll talk about money and when used wisely can incentivize success and cooperation with your family, empower your loved ones through opportunities, and reinforce values that ensure long-term success. But we're not stopping there. No. Somebody typing no in the chat room. We'll also delve into the harsh realities of financial responsibility and why a true leader doesn't just provide, he sacrifices and commands respect through his actions, not just his words. We'll address the importance of avoiding unrealistic expectations in relationships, ensuring that your partner is willing to live within your means and contribute meaningfully to the household. And we'll discuss the critical role of communication in parenting. Why? Because I said so, right? Somebody said, because I said so. Somebody say that. Who's heard that before? I'm your daddy and I said so. That's never enough. And how a real father builds trust and respect through clear, reasoned explanations is something that we're going to talk about. But it's not just about family. If you want to be a real patriarch, you need to understand power, right? You need to understand the power of political and economic leverage. Voting alone is not going to protect your interests. You need to back it up with financial influence. And we'll talk about the necessity of cultivating strategic relationships with influential people while building a lasting legacy through long-term planning and investment. And that's the hallmark of a true patriarch. So if you're here looking for easy answers and quick fixes, this isn't the conversation for you. This is a wake-up call, brothers. And this is for those who are serious about stepping up and taking control and leading their families with strength, with wisdom, and financial power. It's time for us, brothers, it's time for us to stop pretending and start acting like the patriarch your family needs. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button. This is don't have pride in yourself. Don't be so hard on yourselves. That's the other thing. Don't let this world keep kicking you and making you feel like you're not good enough. You plenty. I don't care if you're 10 pounds, 50 pounds overweight, 30 pounds underweight. You don't make enough money. You make too much money. You're too tall. You're too short. You're perfect the way you are. And I want you brothers to begin to take that. A lot of you guys did not have father figures to reinforce these things in you. You don't have that manly, fatherly love supporting you in the back of your head saying, son, you can go out there. The world is yours. I'm not your father's, but I love you like I'm your own uncle. We all want people. And so I'm telling you, brothers, I love you as a person that most people would say is successful. I'm telling you, the opportunity is out there. And most of you guys are doing much better than I was at your age. You're more confident. You got the world, you got the benefit of people like me who've made mistakes. And I want to see you ball. That's it. Yeah. Welcome back. So, the thing we're talking about today is a patriarchy and what it takes to be a true patriarch of a family. Now, here's the thing. When I say control, a lot of people see that as a dirty word. But as a patriarch of the family, and that's just distinguished from being your father, you can be a father and not a patriarch. You can be a father and not doing the things that a patriarch of a family does. And so one of the things that a patriarch does is control his home. Now, before we get started, I want to make sure y'all understand that the Cash App is open and the Super Chat is open. So if you hear something that inspires you, if you're motivated, if you like the message that I'm delivering to black men, if you're a black man and you like the message that I'm delivering to black men, if you like the fact that this is going to be broadcast to thousands of people for, all across the world, and I am a good representative of what black men are about, black American men, foundational black American men, then make sure you show your support for black male media. I certainly would appreciate that. So I'm not up here working for free. And y'all should not want me to be working for free. Y'all should definitely be inspired to get in where you fit in and kick in on some ends. Hallelujah. Praise God. Anyway, money is not just a means of personal gain or acquiring material wealth. It's a powerful tool that can be used to achieve much broader objectives when developed strategically. Money can ensure family success, gain political influence, and maintain generational wealth. Somebody say generational wealth in the chat room. Somebody type generational wealth in the chat room. See, this approach goes beyond the superficial and recognizes that money, when used wisely, has the potential to shape outcomes, create opportunities, and reinforce values that are crucial for long-term success, not just within the family, but also within the broader community. In my own life, all right, in my own life, I've embraced the philosophy by using money as a tool within my family. For example, I buy my woman expensive gifts, not just as tokens of affection, but as recognition for the hard work she puts in our household. She cooks 3 meals a day. She works. Okay, she works out 6 days a week. She participates in martial arts, and I'm talking about Shotokan, jujitsu, uh, boxing, Muay Thai. This is rough stuff. And on top of that, she works in my office. And see, all of these are labors of love. She would do this stuff anyway because I asked her. And but the thing is, the way I see it, she deserves to be incentivized because she's doing what I ask her to do. And as a patriarch, when you give instructions to those who are in your charge, you want to make sure they're incentivized to do. You want to make sure they're doing, but how did you incentivize it? I incentivize it with what I know she likes, and that's expensive gifts and trips and stuff like that. By rewarding her efforts, I'm not just showing her appreciation, I'm encouraging the continuation of behaviors that contribute to our family's success and stability. Because as long as you got a woman who's that busy and doing that much exercise, then what's going to happen is she's going to stay fit, feminine, and it's fit and feminine. Okay. And the crazy part about it, and she and I mentioned this the other day, the more of these combat sports she's doing, the more weightlifting the more feminine she's looking. Her body is sleek, it's strong. I mean, she's looking like a straight leopard out here in these streets. You understand what I'm talking about? But here's the crazy part. I didn't just start with her. See, the same principle applies to my sons. I believe in giving them opportunities rather than just handing them money. It's like giving someone a job instead of just giving them bread. Okay. When you offer someone a chance to earn their rewards, you're not only providing them with financial support, but you're also teaching them the value of hard work and responsibility. If they're not, if they're not lazy, they'll see that you're truly blessing them with an opportunity, something that they usually have to go out and get, on their own. I'm handing them the chance, and it's up to them to make the most of it. Shout out to Barry Little. Thank you so much, fam. With my sons, I provide them the opportunity to do martial arts. I actually ask them to do martial arts. I tell them it's their job. They've been at it for a long time. It's helped their mental development. It's helped so many different things. And as you guys know, I just bought my oldest son a Mercedes Benz. He's 16. He's riding around in the Benz. And he likes it, you see. But what that also does is it sets a precedent for everybody else around. They're saying, we want to do what dad says do. We want to do what our patriarchal father said do. Now, look, this is not a broke man's conversation. All right. It's not a broke man's conversation. My good friend Kevin Samuels, rest his soul, he did not cater to broke men. His conversations were not for Pookie and Ray Ray. His conversations were for high value men. And a lot of you seem to forget that. Kevin, he catered to high value men. He catered to Henry's, which is, I forget the name of the acronym, but basically high earner, not rich yet. So this is the conversation that I have. All right. If you are not in a position where you can do these sort of things, then you're not ready for marriage. You're not ready to take care of a family. You're not ready to be a patriarch. You got to step your game up. You got to work. You got to keep at it. Okay. Now, so if you're offended by this conversation, and if you don't feel like it's for you, then maybe it's not. You haven't got there yet. Not saying you can't get there, but you haven't got there yet. All right. So the other thing is, and I kind of hinted at this, I incentivize positive behavior in my family. Cooking and cleaning, for example. Those are thankless tasks, but I view them as labors of love that should be recognized and incentivized. By rewarding my lady, and her efforts. I'm not just showing appreciation. I'm reinforcing positive behaviors. I'm promoting their continuation. And it's not just about money. It's about creating an environment where hard work, cooperation, and dedication are valued and rewarded. See, we have to understand that rewarding good behavior is essential for its promotion. When people see that their efforts are recognized and rewarded, they're more likely to continue those behaviors. And this is how we create a culture of success and cooperation within our families and communities. By using money as a strategic tool, we can foster an environment where everybody is motivated to contribute their best. And that ensures stability, success, influence, and for the generations to come. In summary, money should be seen as a powerful instrument, an instrument for achieving broader objectives, not just a means of personal gain. You just got it stacked up. You got all that money in your bedroom under your mattress, okay? Doing absolutely nothing. But when you use it strategically, it can create conditions that foster long-term success, both within the family and the community at large. So by incentivizing cooperation, rewarding good behavior, and providing opportunities, we ensure that our values are passed down and that our influence endures. And that's what a true patriarch is out to do. Now, let's get one thing straight. And I'm going to say this again. This is not a conversation for the broke or for those who are easily offended. If the idea of financial responsibility and sacrifice makes you uncomfortable, fellas, then it might be time to reflect on whether you're truly ready to take the role of patriarch and be the man of the house. This isn't about shaming anyone. It's about recognizing the level of commitment and effort required to lead a family effectively. So being the patriarch means more than just having the title and telling people what to do. It means shouldering the responsibility of your family's well-being. It's about making sacrifices, working harder, and being generous enough to provide for your loved ones without hesitation. And if you're broke, or if this conversation offends you, then perhaps it's a signal that you need to push yourself harder. Financial stability is not just a luxury, it's a necessity if you want to command respect and truly provide for your family. See, the patriarch of the family is more than just a figurehead. He is the backbone. He's the one who ensures that the best interests of the family are always prioritized. This role demands sacrifice. And whether it's putting in extra hours of work or making tough financial decisions or putting your family's needs above your own desires, if you're not willing to make those sacrifices, then you're not fully embracing what it means to be a good father, a good husband, or the leader of your household. And you wonder why you got so many sisters rebelling. I'm just saying, I love you, brothers, and you know I love y'all. But when it comes to building men, these are the harsh conversations we need to have. And I want you to be the best man you can be, no matter who your wife is or no matter who your woman is. Now, the thing is, you have to understand that generosity isn't just about giving money. It's about giving time, energy, and love. It's about being there for your family, providing them with security and comfort, and making sure their needs are met before your own. A lot of you men can't do that. You haven't reached that level of maturity. But see, a true patriarch doesn't shy away from these responsibilities. He embraces them because he understands that his sacrifices are what hold the family together. So if you find yourself struggling with the concept of being a patriarch, well, let this be your motivation to work harder. Push yourself to achieve financial stability, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of your family. Understand that being a man of the house is about more than just providing. It's about leading, sacrificing, and ensuring that your family's future is secure. Okay? All right? Anybody uncomfortable? Somebody type uncomfortable in the chat room. Somebody type uncomfortable in the chat room. I want you men to use that discomfort to fuel as fuel to drive yourself to greater heights. Somebody type is greater later in the chat room. Shout out to Tangelina Scales. Somebody type is greater later in the chat room. Okay? The role of a patriarch is not for the faint of heart or the financially unprepared. It's for those who are willing to work tirelessly, sacrifice generously, and lead their families with unwavering commitment. If you're not ready for that, then it's just time for you to reevaluate your priorities and start taking the steps necessary to become the man your family needs. Straight up. That's it. In today's world, many men still, you're still willing to shoulder the financial burden and pay the bills, but here's the catch. Most women are willing to live solely on the man's income. And this creates a disconnect, a tension between what men are willing to provide and what women expect. If you find yourself in this situation, the solution is simple, but it's crucial. You must only engage with women who are willing to live within your means. It's important to recognize and avoid women who have unrealistic expectations. These are the women who expect a lifestyle that far exceeds what you can comfortably provide without contributing meaningfully to the household. Engaging with these type of women is just going to lead to frustration, resentment, and ultimately an unsustainable relationship. You need a woman who understands and respects the financial limits. Somebody type financial limits. Somebody type financial limits in the chat room. Somebody type financial limits in the chat room. Okay? You need a woman who understands and respects your financial limits and who is willing to build a life together based on mutual understanding and cooperation. So, what do you do with those who refuse to contribute or live within the agreed upon means? What do you do with the dead weight? The women who expect everything but give nothing in return. The answer is you make an example out of them. You deprive them of the incentives for cooperation that they would otherwise receive. In other words, you don't reward laziness or entitlement. And you do the same thing for your children and the other people who are under your charge as the patriarch. You're then setting clear boundaries and expectations, because that's essential. If someone isn't willing to work for the money or contribute to the household, contribute to the well-being of the family in any meaningful way, then they shouldn't reap the benefits of your hard work. And by withholding rewards, you're sending a message that cooperation and contribution are non-negotiable. This isn't about being harsh. It's about ensuring that your relationship is built on fairness, respect, and mutual effort. And see, here's the kicker. The others who are around that person are going to say, hey, you better start. Peer pressure will kick in and they'll start pulling their weight and then they'll be getting rewarded. So it's the carrot or the stick. Somebody type carrot or stick in the chat room. Now, a healthy relationship is a partnership, and in a partnership, both parties bring something to the table. If one person is doing all the work, whether that's financially, emotionally, or otherwise, while the other simply takes the relationship for granted, then it's doomed to fail. The key for you fellas is to find a woman who understands the value of living within your means and who's willing to contribute to the success of the household. Now, most men are willing to pay all the bills, but in reality, that's not all women are willing to. Most women are not willing to live within those financial constraints. To avoid that frustration, what did I say? To build a healthy, successful relationship, what do you have to do? You got to deal with women who have realistic, who are realistic about finances and are willing to cooperate with you, cooperate and work within your means. And guess what? For those who won't work for the money, who are under your charge, who act as dead weight, they out of here. Get them to the curb, to the cliffs, right? And what this is going to do is going to ensure that your relationship is built on mutual respect, effort, shared commitment, and success. Shout out to Hootsy, something for the mat fee. Yeah, man. Uncle D, thank you for your continued outpouring praise. Moses, good looking out, fam. Thank you so much for the $20. So, all right, now, you guys like when I talk about family, and you like when I talk about building trust. Remember that your children are your legacy, okay? And whatever you put into them, that's your legacy. They'll remember the things that you as a parent say to your children carry a lot more weight. So, using something like a statement like, and many of you guys heard this before, somebody say, because I said so, right? How many of you have heard, because I said so? Huh? How many of you have heard that? Or and the equivalent of that is because I'm grown, because I'm your parent, because I'm your daddy, because I'm your mama. Y'all have heard that, right? You've heard that statement made before, right? Here's the thing. Using because I said so as a response to your children is not just insufficient, it's counterproductive. This approach often leads to resentment and it creates a barrier between you and your children, especially as a father. See, when you rely on authority without explanation, you miss an opportunity to build trust, understanding, and respect within your family. As a father, it's crucial to explain your reasons for the things you ask your children to do. This doesn't mean you need to justify every decision, but providing context helps them understand that your guidance is rooted in their best interest. Children, like all of us, they need to feel understood and respected. When you take the time to explain why you're asking them to do something, you're not only teaching them the importance of the task, but also showing them that you value their ability to understand and make informed decisions. This approach fosters a sense of responsibility and maturity, helping them see the bigger picture and reasoning behind your requests. You basically teaching them logic and reason. So as a father, my approach when I'm dealing with my sons, Dennis, Roman, Elijah, um, my approach is to only ask my children to do things that are genuinely within their best interest, whether it's doing their homework or helping out with chores or learning a new skill. I explain how these tasks contribute to their growth and well-being. This way, they don't just see it as a chore or an obligation. They understand the purpose behind it, which increases their willingness to cooperate, and they take ownership over their responsibilities. By explaining my reasons, or by you explaining your reasons, you're also encouraging dialogue. And this opens up a space for your children to ask questions, express thoughts, and feel involved in the decision-making process. It's a way of showing them that their opinions matter, that you're not just asserting or issuing out orders, but rather you're guiding them through life with care and consideration. And this mutual respect lays a foundation for a strong, trusting relationship between you and your children for the rest of your life. Here's the thing. This approach empowers children. And when they understand the reasons behind your request, they're more likely to internalize those values. Somebody type values in the chat room. They're more likely to internalize those values and carry them into adulthood and pass them down to who? To their children, your grandchildren. And there goes your legacy. They learn that there's rationale behind rules and that the rules are in place to protect and help them, not just to control them. You can be a very well-meaning parent, but if it seems like all you're doing is exhibiting control over your children and it's not in their best interest, they may rebel. And then you have a house in chaos. But by doing it the way I'm suggesting that you do it, this understanding in this way, it nurtures their ability to think critically and make sound decisions on their own. Shout out to my man, Cody Marshall. Thank you for putting me on game. No problem, baby. So for the other fathers out there, this is more than just advice. It's a way of life. Explaining why behind your guidance is essential for you, for helping your children grow into responsible, thoughtful, well-adjusted adults. It's not about relinquishing authority. It's not about using your authority, or should I say, it's about using your authority wisely to teach, to guide, to inspire your children. By doing so, you create a household where respect flows both ways, and your children see you not just as an enforcer, but as a mentor and a protector who genuinely cares about their well-being. Those boys will grow up. Those girls will grow up. And if they heard a bunch of "because I said so," right? Guess what's going to happen? You're going to hear a bunch of "because I said so's." So that's why "because I said so" should never be the final word. Instead, take the time to explain your reasons, ensuring your children understand and appreciate the guidance you provide. This approach, it builds trust, it fosters understanding, and ultimately strengthens the bond. And you and your children, it helps them grow into the best versions they can be. Now, everybody wants to call himself a patriarch. They want to boast about having a traditional family. But when it comes time to do what true patriarchs have done for centuries, and that's sacrifice and lead, most of you men fall apart. Being a patriarch isn't just about holding the title, it's about carrying the weight of leadership, taking responsibility for every aspect of your family's well-being, and understanding that with authority comes the burden of consequences, both good and bad. See, a true patriarch doesn't just put his family first, he leads them with wisdom. He leads them with compassion and strength. He sacrifices his own needs and desires for the sake of those he loves. And in return, he earns respect, deference, and maintains authority in his household. Somebody type authority in the chat room. See, this respect isn't demanded through fear or oppression. It's earned through consistent sacrifice, discipline, and commitment to the well-being of the family. Somebody type family first in the chat room. Somebody type family first in the chat room. Are you all ready to be patriarchs? Are you all ready to be men of the house? Many of you all say you are. See, the harsh reality is too many men want the title without the work. You think you can be a patriarch and still go 50-50 with your wife? Let me ask that question again. You think you are a patriarch and you can go 50-50 with your wife? Boy, you stupid. If you're splitting bills and responsibilities and decision making, then she's not your subordinate. She's certainly not submissive. She's just your partner. You don't have a wife, you have a partner. And in this scenario, she has equal say so in how the house is run, and rightfully so. Authority without responsibility leads to tyranny, not leadership. And that's where many of you men have failed in the past. Now, the distinction between a leader and a tyrant is unmistakable. A true leader guides his family with a firm yet compassionate hand, recognizing that his duty to serve and protect, not to dominate and control, unless absolutely necessary, and always in the best interest of the family. And in doing so, and when I say in doing so, I'm talking about you're exercising domination and control. You exercise it with wisdom and the experience to discern the right time and the proper extent to do so. Your little 14-year-old girl wants to go out on a date. Nope, you need to exercise dominance and control. You got some drunk family member in the house, causing trouble, you need to exercise dominance and control, but only to a certain extent. See, a tyrant, on the other hand, rules through fear, imposing his will without considering the needs or feelings of his family. Ralph comes home and smacks Wendy around because she made peas instead of carrots. That's a tyrant. And see, this kind of oppressive behavior is what drove women to seek independence and escape the in-house oppression. That's what feminism came from, at least first wave feminism. And it's what made children grow up and hate their fathers, creating distance that often lasted a lifetime. That's what happens when you become a tyrant. See, leadership means accepting consequences of your actions and decisions. If you fail as a leader, if you neglect your responsibilities, or if you abuse your authority, or your family suffers, so do you. The respect, love, and loyalty of your wife and children are not given freely. They're earned through your actions. And when you fail to lead properly, you risk losing everything that truly matters. And that's your family. Somebody type family first in the chat room. See, being a real patriarch isn't just about having a family or being the head of the household. It's about living up to the immense responsibility that comes with that role. It's about guiding your family through life's challenges, sicknesses, pregnancies, graduations, death in the family, and doing so with wisdom and care, not ruling with an iron fist. See, a true patriarch leaves a legacy of love, respect, and strong leadership that resonates through generation. He doesn't just demand respect, he earns it every single day. So if you're not willing to make those sacrifices that are necessary, if you're not ready to bear those consequences of failed leadership, then stop pretending to be a patriarch. A true patriarch doesn't just hold authority, he carries the weight of it with grace and integrity, understanding. And his actions today will shape the future of his family for generations to come. Y'all keep that in mind. We're going to take a quick break. You'll be right back. Y'all make sure y'all show me some love by kicking into the Super Chat, Cash App, and PayPal. I'll be right back.
I want to see you win. And I put pressure on us men to understand how we did not get our masculinity training. And we've been doing our work, okay? But now it's time for you ladies to understand you're going to have to bet on us like you want us to bet on you. I talked to several men this week. I don't just get on here and talk shit. I have men I call around the world and I ask, what do you think about this concept? Level set me. Shout out to brother Dennis Spurling. Dennis, I'm not gonna I don't want to tell people's business, but I'm gonna tell you, high value men retire their women or make them come work for them. So ladies, what is it going to take for you to free yourself? Because you and I both know you're dying at these jobs. You're in a toxic.
Shout out to the late great Kevin Samuels, man. He was trying to tell y'all, fellas. And so, he told you in a loving and caring way, well, I am the Blizzard King, and so I'm not going to be that loving and caring. I'm going to be harsh. But unfortunately, this is what's necessary. Now, another thing I want to talk to you all about, and we're talking about patriarchy is not for the weak and powerless and broke men, okay? It's about controlling your community, okay? It's about controlling your community, because after the extension of your house is your community. The extension of your home is your community. And from the community, you have your neighborhood. Neighborhoods comprise cities. Cities comprise counties. Counties comprise states. States comprise countries. So it starts with the household. All right? Y'all with me? Y'all ain't ran off yet. You're still here. I know if I was on here talking about Kamala Harris, you guys would be 300, 400, 500 deep. Shout out to everybody who came through who wants to hear this real message, this man-building message, okay? We can't sit up and just talk about women and, beat them back all day for the horrible things they're doing, some of them. We have to begin to become better men, because the truth is, fellas, if you become better men, you'll attract what's on your level. Sometimes the reason you attract a hood rat is because deep down inside, you are a Pookie or a Ray Ray. That's the energy you put out in there, out in the world, and what you put out in the world comes back to you. So let's begin to come into our manhood and our masculinity. The reason you attract dominant women is because you're a submissive male and you don't even know it. when you become a patriarch, when you become a real man who stands up, you repel those type of women. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Dominant women are attracted to submissive men. Submissive women are attracted to dominant men. Dominant men and dominant women repel each other. But the most powerful aphrodisiac that I know of is power. Somebody type power in the chat room. Somebody type power in the chat room. Somebody type power and control in the chat room. Now, here's the thing. For the amount of money that Black people collectively spend on hair care products, luxury items, expensive cars, and ladies' perfumes, we could pay every politician in the 26 major cities we live in. Essentially, we would lock down political power in the United States, at least as far as in the places where we live. But Black Americans as a collective are one of the few ethnic groups that significantly lacked overall political sophistication. And this deficiency is painfully obvious, especially in a time like this when we have this very crucial presidential campaign coming up. Now, the reality is that voting is just one aspect of political power. And it's an important one, yes, but it's only half the equation. The other half is money. Somebody type money in the chat room. See, without both the vote and financial backing to influence policy, our best interests as a people are neither advanced nor protected. It's like having a car with a full tank but no engine. You're not going anywhere meaningful. Our people are notorious. Our people are notorious for talking and complaining, but rarely taking the necessary action. We sit around discussing what needs to change, but when it comes time to do something about it, we are conspicuously absent. This lack of action has left us stagnant, making little to no progress since the days of Frederick Douglass. Do you know he was talking about police brutality? Did you know that Frederick Douglass was talking about police brutality back in 1860 something? And here we are in 2024, and we're still talking about police brutality. Doesn't that tell you talking about it is not going to do it? Matter of fact, Dr. Claude Anderson highlighted our political stagnancy, this issue, 30 years ago. Yet, here we are, still stuck in the same cycle of inaction and unfulfilled potential. Let me be blunt. Black people, brothers in specific, as a whole, we don't understand lobbying. We think we can vote once every few years and that's enough to secure our future. We expect things to be handed to us for free. And when others who put in the financial investment get more, we're left frustrated and bitter. Look what they did for us. The truth is, we don't grasp how power truly works. Instead of pooling our resources to influence policy and protect our interests, we'd rather beg or stage ineffective voter strikes, which accomplish nothing. The reason the LGBT community got so much legislation and favor from Obama is because they contributed heavy to his campaigns. The same thing with those Asian groups and Joe Biden. Money talks, BS walks. If Black people are ever going to fix the terrible conditions in our communities, we need to understand the value of money and how to organize effectively from a very young age. Other ethnic groups have mastered the art of financial influence in politics. They know how to move money the right way during election seasons to get what they want. Meanwhile, we're still trying to fit into a system that was never designed for us. Instead of trying to integrate into a system that doesn't serve us, we need to focus on doing for self, staying segregated if necessary. You're segregated anyway. You move in, the white folks move out, and you back with us again. But if we follow these precepts, we'll build our own power base. Again, this presidential election, it's not about making history with a woman in the White House. or any symbolic victory. It's about a business transaction. Kamala Harris, Donald J. Trump, these candidates represent tangibles, public policy, legislative agendas, executive orders, resources, funding, job creation, and entrepreneurship. This is what matters, not empty symbolism. If we don't prioritize these things, we'll continue to fall behind. This election is a turning point. The last election where Black people and Black society have a real chance to make a significant impact. After this, the Latinos and Hispanics are set to become the dominant minority in America. The numbers are clear. And the writing is on the wall. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris's administration, along with the Democratic Party, are quietly shifting their focus away from the Black voting bloc in favor of the Hispanic and Latino voters. And if we don't wake up and take serious, organized action now, Black people will be permanently sidelined in American politics. Here's the hard truth. Giving money to politicians doesn't guarantee policy changes. But, and I say but, not giving them money guarantees that the policies against your interests will remain unchanged. If we don't learn to wield our financial power effectively, we'll continue to be left out of the decision-making process, and our communities will suffer the consequences. It's time to get serious. It's time to get serious about using our money and our vote strategically, because if we don't, we're doomed. We've doomed ourselves to a future of irrelevance in the political arena. Look, one of the most important strategies you can employ in life is to make your friends before you need them. Somebody write that down. Make your friends before you need them. That's one of the concepts that I speak about in my books. Rules to Live By, How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness in a Conflicted World, volumes 1, 2, 3. Make your friends before you need them. See, the foundation of a strong relationship or strong friendship is often built on common ground, shared interests, goals, or values. When you help someone achieve their goals, especially when those goals align with your own, you're not just making a friend, you could be forging a lifelong alliance. There's an old saying that a friend in need is a friend indeed, but the real wisdom lies in making those friends before you find yourself in need. When you proactively cultivate relationships, especially with people who hold influence of authority, you're setting yourself up for success when challenges arise. The goal is to establish these connections long before you require them, long before you need their help. So when the time comes, those relationships are already solidified. Strategically, it's wise to focus on making friends in high places, people who hold positions of power, or who are on the path to obtaining such positions. This includes congressmen and women, congressmen and women, judges, politicians, police officers, mayors, school board members, hell, even the HOA president. These people are key players in the system and often have the authority to influence decisions that could impact your life. The church, the universities, the places you meet, the golf course, your children's jiu-jitsu academies. These are the places where you begin to learn who's who and what's what, especially those type of places. Jiu-jitsu specifically is a very expensive endeavor. It's anywhere from $250 to $300 per person. So if you're in an area where they have a jiu-jitsu gym, recognize that the people who are going to be there are going to be the ones who are elite, who can afford that on a consistent basis. And oftentimes it takes 10 years or more. Imagine paying that $300 a month for a family of 4 for the past 10 years. That's what I've been doing. That's about $120,000, more or less. Nevertheless, these people that you meet, these type of figures, they're always in need. because their roles require them to constantly seek public approval, whether it's through primary elections or general elections or public opinion. They're perpetually accountable to the people, and that's where you come in. Somebody type me in the chat room. They need your support. They need me. And often your financial backing, they need it to maintain those positions. And with the status and the power that comes with those jobs, these folks are in a position to achieve things that most people can't on their own. And by helping them maintain their positions, whether through donations, endorsements, or public support, you create a reciprocal relationship. You understand what that means, reciprocal relationship? Man. See, the smart ones understand an unspoken agreement. If you assist them, they're more likely to help you when you call upon them for a reasonable favor within their authority. Your son got arrested, but you cool with the district attorney. Your daughter got put out of school, but you cool with the superintendent. You're trying to get that permit in the backyard to get that extra guest house bill because you're tired of dealing with your mother-in-law. You're dealing with some paperwork downtown. You call up the mayor's assistant. I'm just saying, that's how power works. Anyone who tell you that isn't how the system works, they simply haven't utilized it effectively. The reality is that money is the lifeblood of power. It fuels campaigns, sustains influence, and opens doors. By investing in these relationships early, you're essentially securing a form of social currency that can be invaluable when you need it the most. So the key takeaway here is to be strategic in your relationships. Don't just make friends. Make friends with people who can open doors, who hold influence, who can help you achieve your goals. In return, be prepared to support them when they need it. This kind of mutual benefit is at the heart of all lasting, powerful relationships. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that politicians, are out of touch. It's easy for you to get caught up into a politician's race or background, right? You may think because of their race, they'll be more empathetic to you, or somehow they're immune from corrupting influence and power. But the truth is, once they enter that political arena, they're all playing the same game. Whether it's Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, they might start off with good intentions, but genuinely, they might want to make a difference for the communities. But when they realize the system is rigged, their focus shifts from serving the people to self-preservation. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. When the politicians come to terms with the reality of the game, it becomes less about the collective good and more about how their decisions can benefit them personally, often at your expense. And whether it's securing financial gain or climbing the political ladder, their actions frequently betray the very people who voted them into office. The needs and interests of the public, the so-called unnecessary, become secondary. Sacrifice for the politician's personal advancement. If Kamala Harris reaches the highest office, you'll see this play out in real time. And you all know I'm telling the truth. Now, some of you, and I've heard this before, I read this in the comments today. Some black people believe we should start our own political party. Some of y'all think we should train and raise our own youngsters to become politicians, right? Don't some of y'all think that? Tell the truth. You think by doing this, you can escape the existing left-right wings, which they see as two sides of the same vulture. And this idea comes from a place of frustration and desire for genuine representation, free from the compromises that taint the mainstream politics. Here's my response to this idea, and it's simple. Why expend the time and resources to create an entirely new political structure when you can simply use money strategically to influence and fine-tune the politicians we already have in place? We don't need to start from scratch. No need to reinvent the wheel. We can leverage our financial power to ensure the existing politicians advance and protect our collective interests. I do it all the time. Why do you think I'm so successful as an attorney? Why do you think I'm so successful as an attorney? A good lawyer knows the judge. A great lawyer knows, what they say, a good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the job, knows the judge. So imagine having a high-powered lawyer who's well-connected, or a judge or a politician in your contacts. The influence and security you feel would be immense, like having the power of the sun in your hands. This is the real key to navigating the political landscape. Strategic connections and financial leverage. And with these tools, you can ensure that your interests are not just heard, but acted upon, regardless of who holds office. It don't matter, red or blue. See, in the end, politicians may all be the same in how they operate within this rigged system, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. By understanding the game and by using our resources wisely, we can still influence the outcomes in our favor. It's not about starting from scratch. It's about playing smarter, not harder. Bars. Y'all are too light tonight on these super chats. I'm gonna need y'all to kick in, or I'm gonna put this church music on. Okay. We have 3 super chats, and we have been talking for an hour. If I don't see some super chats popping off, I need 20 super chats all together, which means I need about another 17. You're getting some good game here. You're being motivated. I'm telling you about patriarchy. I'm telling you what you need to be a true patriarch. Nobody else is going to talk to you like this because they care too much about what you think. They don't want to make you mad. But see, y'all going to pay me anyway. The reason you don't pay me is because you don't have this caliber of person anywhere else on this, who addresses his topics strictly for Black folks, strictly for Black men. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear this criticism, but again, I don't care. You all know genuinely, I don't care. If I fought the internet for 3 or 4 weeks straight, you know I don't care. I don't give a damn what you think. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. That's why I'm Uncle D. But we need to go ahead and get these super chats popping. And since y'all not moving fast enough, I'm going to go ahead and send y'all with Jesus. I want 17 super chats. I'll be back when you do that. All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Now, you guys generously gave another 4 super chats, but we're gonna need to get another 12 super chats in here. But I want to continue this very important message. So you guys make sure if you hear something that motivates you, if you're inspired, it sparks a new idea, helps you see clearly how the world works, and my God, don't be cheap with Uncle D. Be generous with me. Okay, the Blizzard King. Bars. Anyway, so we got 11 more super chats to go. Shout out to the 9 people who contributed to the super chats and the folks who came through on the Cash App. I'm gonna leave this up. I need 11 more super chats, but I want to continue with this very important message because we are over the past week or so. And Kevin Samuels inspired before he passed away. Oh man. So the last time I saw him was in New York, and I'd have gone there to visit this warehouse with MTR and the lead attorney. And what Kevin was trying to do was build a conglomerate of YouTubers. Now, of course, at that time, I had maybe 30, 40,000 followers. But for the most part, everybody knew who I was. I was setting a precedent. And, this is before the pandemic ended. This is before all these new people came in and just start taking Kevin Samuels' talking points and ways and mannerisms of cross-examination and incorporated it into their podcast and blew up. But nevertheless, I'm still here. But what happened was the game plan was for us to go up there and create a conglomerate and begin to wield our YouTube power, wield our notoriety into something powerful for the Black community. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Brother Kevin passed away. But I remember on the car ride to dinner after we visited the warehouse, he said, Dennis, what is your chicken sandwich? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, you don't go to Burger King for a chicken sandwich, do you? No. Go to Burger King for a burger. Like, yeah, right. What do you do? Because at that time, you guys may remember, I would talk about military stuff. I'd talk about law. I might do a few conversations on news articles, legal matters. Like, you're not known for anything. What is your chicken sandwich? And he said, I said, well, I don't really have one, Kevin. What do you think I should do? He said, you should focus on power and control. You should focus on power and money and how to accumulate power, because even at that time, Kevin had done enough of my background, and he used to check everybody out to know, how well connected I am. This is why when I do exercise power and when I do things to people, people's channels disappear. How many other folks do you know have had somebody's website, shout out to Black BuzzFeed, just disappear after 30 days, right? And that's because of connections, that's because of power, and that's because of influence. So don't let any of these people tell you that Black men don't have power. Power is accumulated by those who wish to wield it. Money, power. Another thing, I'm not flamboyant. So people will deal with me because you don't see me out there P. Diddying folks, popping bottles, and even when I do go places, you very rarely see me doing anything, you see? And so I know how discretion, power is quiet. And so Kevin dissected me really quickly and said, yeah, man, you need to talk about power. And I'm like, man, I ain't talking about that. I'm about to talk about these ladies. I like that because, I know you guys like it. And of course, who doesn't want to complain about the women in their group? Everybody complains about the women in their group. And, and with the lovely ladies, it's just, they go back at it so much. It's easy to get caught up in it. But, for the purposes of actually helping build men, what I am going to do now is to begin to talk about power, because these epilogues, these conversations will carry on. I realize now just how powerful my voice is. And I want to make this sort of impact on the Black community. At least the blueprint is here. At least you all will know what I did and how I accumulated power, whether it's a university president or a judge or a mayor or a constable. There have been a lot of people who I've helped influence to do what is in my interest and what is in the interest of my community in general. So, nevertheless, here's the thing. You have a lot of people who are politically disengaged. All right. And shout out to real. I need 9 more super chats and I'm gonna continue, but you guys know what you got to do. Let's talk about I guess it was a comment that I read, and someone said something to the effect of, I'm not into politics and I know campaigns cost money, but I just I just learned about that. And then basically they're saying, why does everybody have to pay for what they want? You're supposed to buy clothes, you're supposed to buy things that you need, everything. Some people subscribe to the notion that everything worth having comes from work or force, not money. Okay. You see what I mean? So this person, let me let me let you know. This person's mindset is not just naive, it's downright dangerous. That particular mindset towards politics and the political process, it reflects a fundamental misunderstanding and dismissive attitude. They see politics as something distant and perhaps irrelevant to their day-to-day life. They don't grasp the critical role that money plays in driving political change and protecting interests. And this perspective is marked by a focus on personal, immediate gratifications like buying clothes and TVs and perfumes and experience. And you're overlooking the broader, more strategic investments that shape society and ensure long-term stability and influence. See, people with that sort of mindset think that, my hard work and my endeavors, that's sufficient. That's sufficient to achieve meaningful goals. And without recognizing that in the real world, somebody type real world, in the real world, power and influence are often secured through financial investment. This attitude shows a reluctance to engage with the political process. Like, it's likely due to a lack of understanding of how deeply politics affects every aspect of your life. It reveals a naive belief that significant outcomes can be achieved without the need for strategic financial contributions. Somebody type money in the chat room. Okay? And this is dangerous. This is a dangerous misconception. In a society where those with financial leverage are the ones who often set the rules and make the decisions, you got to put your money where your mouth is. Okay? Shout out to Simon Morning. You got to put your money where your mouth is. So let's get one thing straight. Politics runs money. Okay? Or should I say, let me say it again. Look, you're listening to me? Politics runs on your money. You might think that great changes happen just because people are passionate or work hard, but that's not the only part of the equation. The truth is, every major movement, every significant change in history has been backed by those who have financial resources to push their agenda, whether it's a political campaign, a lobbying effort, or grassroots movement. Without money, those efforts are just wishful thinking. You can have all the ideas in the world, but if you don't have the financial backing to bring them to life, they'll remain just that, ideas. Now, this notion of blood, sweat, and tears and hard work and the American dream, that's a nice story. It's beautiful. Applaud for you. Beautiful. But it's outdated. It's incomplete. Sure, hard work is important. Let's not kid ourselves. Hard work without resources is like trying to build a house without tools. Take the civil rights movement, for example. It wasn't just sheer willpower of the people that kept it going. It was also financial support that paid for the legal battles, like the transportation, the organizing efforts. Without the money, the movement would have been stuck in neutral. Let's look at the Montgomery boycott, the Montgomery bus boycott. Do you think it was just determination of the people that kept it going for over a year? No. No. It was strategic financial planning, fundraising and fundraising that allowed it to succeed. Leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King knew that without money, their efforts wouldn't stand a chance. The reality is that money was and always will be a crucial part of any fight for change. Then there's the idea that money should be spent on things like clothes and perfumes and vacations, and you just ignore the importance of the political investment. That's exactly the mentality that keeps Black people powerless. While some folks are out here busy buying temporary pleasures, others are investing in political power and shaping the laws that'll govern your life, deciding what opportunities are available to you, and determining the future of your children. If you're not willing to put your money where your mouth is, someone else will. And they'll be the ones making decisions for you and your children. That analogy, right? This sort of mentality, it's a shallow attempt to just avoid the obvious. If you're not engaged in politics, you're not putting your money behind your interests. You're not giving up, and you're giving up your power. You're letting others control your future while you sit back and wonder why things don't go your way. It's time to wake up and realize that money isn't just for buying luxury. It's for buying power, security, and progress. If you're not using it that way, you're setting yourself up to lose. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back. Y'all hit the #1 button, man. This is Uncle D. I got love for you. I appreciate y'all coming through.
Brother Spurling. Brother Spurling met his fiance in my mixed group, and she was doing her thing, Ivy League educated, beautiful sister. He's a successful attorney. Now he's like, shh, that's my wife. I'm gonna put her through law school, and she's gonna become an attorney at my practice. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. I want to call you back to the sister that called into my show who said, when I first listened to you, I didn't like you.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the late great Kevin Sanders, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to my lovely lady, man. Shout out to my lady, man. She's actually graduating from law school, and she'll start working at my firm early next year. So shout out to her. Wonderful young lady. Big shout out to the folks who came through. Urban Eagle, Jeff for the collection plate, Torrin Jones, Simon Morning. Big shout out to you. Who else we got up in here? Thank you so much. Good evening, sir. And also big shout out to Your Excellence. I didn't move from I didn't move from KS to you. We suggested you. You've been pillar in the Black community talk, especially when it comes to Black men and boys and what's in their best interest. Yeah, and that's what we need. We need somebody to speak the truth. Thank you so much, brother. And thank you so much again for your service. Shout out to all the service members out there. United States Air Force, Marine Corps, Army, Navy, National Guard, Border Patrol, Space Force, all you guys, man. Thank you for standing on that wall and keeping us safe. Shout out to Lance Jackson. Shout out to EJ. Good information as usual. Thank you so much, Steph Con. Appreciate you. Also, thank you so much, Hoodsie. Thanks, brother, for the life lessons. That's what I'm here for, baby. Stephen Atkins, big shout out to you, fam. Good shout out to Cody Marshall. Shout out to Something for the Mat Feet. Thank you so much, Hoodsie. I appreciate you. I think I read a couple of these before and very little. We still need about 6 more super chats. But I wanted to make sure I get you guys in the high part of this show. Ray Allen, the sons of powerful patriarchs have to marry well for legacy. Can't have wrong women naming the patriarch's grandson Cadillac Escalade. Man, I'm gonna talk about that today, man. That's the conversation coming up, man. We're gonna have a all-around powwow about this, man. But yeah, you're exactly right about that. And I'm already talking to my sons about, don't bring no skanks to my house. You better not bring no hood rats around here. Let me cut it out, man. But anyway, so we're talking about patriarchy, and it's not for the weak, powerless, or broke men. This is not a broke man's conversation. This is not a weak man's conversation. These are for those who know they can get up there and get it. This is not the powerless man's conversation. If you're one of those people, this conversation is probably not for you. Okay, if you're easily offended, this is not for you. Now, I talked about money for a minute, and there's this misnomer that we are a poor people. We're not poor. We might be broke, but the reason that we're broke is because we buy all these consumer goods. We have the money. Okay, we have the money. Somebody type, we have the money in the chat room. All my folks out there, everybody looking, somebody type, we have the money in the chat room. The power of the Black American is we have $1 billion economy. Okay, we would be the if we were an African nation on our own, we would have the largest economy of all the other Africans. We have the money. Okay, we got it. Y'all got it. You know we have it. Don't lie. Those shoes in your closet tell you that we have it. That car in your garage tell you we have it. Okay? You understand? We spend black women spend over $1 billion on hair care products alone every year. Okay? And it's not just a number, it's an indicator that of where our economic priorities are or where they lie. Imagine what could be achieved if even a portion of that amount were redirected into creating business and investing within our communities. And as someone, someone with a background in law, I've been saying for years that this kind of spending power has the potential to significantly influence the political landscape. With the amount of money Black people spend on Mercedes-Benz, hair care products, luxury items alone, we could fund campaigns that influence local elections and push real change. Yet, that's sad. Reality is, despite all the talk about empowerment and success, Black people as a collective have not shown the will to convert this economic power into real political influence or lasting success. Why can't we give $1,000 to every Black judge who is running for a seat in our county? That's what I do. In my county, I got a special fund set aside of about $20,000 that I just give away to Black judges. And I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Let me tell you a secret. I love Black female judges. Let me tell you why. Because they are no nonsense. Sometimes when the brothers get these little positions as judge, they compromise themselves. They want to play the game. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. But a Black female judge, especially one who's married, especially one who's married to a brother, she's gonna hear everything you have to say. She's gonna make her decision. She's not gonna mince her words. I love me a Black female judge. A Black lady judge, the ones who's married, I love them to death. No nonsense. I always have some of the greatest experiences and some of the best rulings that come from Black women judges, especially the ones that grew up in my generation. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, baby. I'm just keeping no nonsense. They don't play those games. They don't play those old boy games. Ain't no wink and nod. None of that is working. Just keeping it 100 with you. Brothers, y'all be cooning up there a little bit, y'all. Sometimes y'all get up there and just smiling and show. I'm like, you the judge. Why are you showing your teeth? You the one with the robe on. But nevertheless, now, again, we're talking about the misapplication. It's too often we are content with symbolic victories, right? Basic results rather than striving for real power and influence. Success and the securing of power seem to have lost their urgency within our community. Instead of treating our economic and political survival as a matter of life or death, we've allowed the survival instinct to fade. This complacency has left us marginalized, despite our significant economic power. With $1 billion economy, we could strategically dominate local political elections in all the cities that Black Americans reside in, primarily Atlanta, Oakland, Houston, Cleveland, y'all name them, New York, Detroit, New Orleans, Dallas. Y'all know the cities. Charlotte, Little Rock, Chi-Town. Think about the impact we could have. Imagine if we used our collective resources to back candidates who truly represented our interests. Imagine if we used our money to fund community initiatives and build businesses that serve and uplift Black people. The responsibilities, or should I say the possibilities, are endless. We're not capitalizing on that. Instead, we're spending billions of dollars in consumer goods that depreciate in value without leveraging that spending to secure political economic power. What's the path forward? It's time to shift our mindset. We need to recognize that power, or should I say, we need to recognize the power of our dollars and use those dollars strategically to build the future we want. This means investing in our community, supporting the Black-owned businesses, and most importantly, using our economic power to influence politics at every level. By doing this, we ensure that our voices are not just heard, but they lead to real tangible change. Most of you guys watch my broadcast day in and day out, but you don't call my office and ask me for my legal services. And you know I'm here. You can no longer say, I don't know a powerful, influential Black lawyer. And I'm licensed in multiple states and connected around the world. My number is 713-229-0770. And none of y'all have called me to ask me if I can represent you in anything, a car accident, slip and fall, and you know a Black lawyer. Me, somebody you know and trust. You know what I stand for. You don't call me. Save a few. But for the most part, with the thousands of people that watch my page, it would seem that, hey, I come to you every night. You know who I am. You know my family. You feel comfortable. I could barely get y'all to give me another 6 super chats, but still, you don't even call me, and you have these resources. So I know if there was a Black supermarket in your community, you'll pass right by that Black supermarket and go to that Walmart supercenter. You haven't got in the habit of patronizing your own, even those who love you and sacrifice you like I do. Sacrifice for you like I do. You don't. You just take us for granted until we're gone. And then you cry like you did for Kevin Samuels. That ain't cool. Nevertheless, let me tell you, my approach to using money within my family goes far beyond just paying for tasks. It's about leveraging financial resources to foster cooperation, discipline, and shared values. And I do the same thing outside in the political realm. Shout out to Your Excellence. Thank you so much, bro. We almost there. 5 more super chats and I will have hit my goal. Now, what are some other ways that we can strategically advance our interests? That's what I want to talk about. What are some other ways that we can strategically advance our interest? I talk about family as patriarch. I'm talking to my patriarchal brothers. I talked about family, right? And now I'm going to give you some other ways that we can do it, but not before we take this quick break. Y'all hit the number 1 button. I'll be right back.
But when you hit that golden age of 40 and you realize, the world is yours at 40. Because now you're still young enough to make decisions, but you're wise enough to understand the decisions you should make. See, these are things that...
Get your hustle, understand.
They don't shame rich female actresses and sports figures for not giving back to the community, do they? But the minute a Black man gets rich, what's the expectation? The minute a Black man gets a little money in his pocket from some sort of contract, what are you gonna do for the Black community? When was the last time the Black community shamed some of these rich Black actresses and sports figures for marrying out. Not hardly ever. The closest we saw was when Serena Williams and Halle Berry got married, and the only reason was because they married these broke men. And it's about money. When women go out and marry men of other races, the matriarchy sees that as a come up. Okay, now those white men are under our control. We have control over their resources and their children.
Yeah! They squabbling out there now. Yeah!
All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. But I'm serious though. If you guys been involved in some sort of personal injury case, I'm licensed in New York, Illinois, Michigan, Texas, Louisiana. Hell, where else am I licensed? And Arkansas. Y'all need to contact me if you've been involved in a car accident somewhere, especially if it's 18-wheeler. Stop making them white boys rich. Come help me get some money too. Praise God. Hallelujah, hallelujah for that. So y'all make sure my number is, I'm gonna put my number back up. You guys contact me if you've been involved. If you need to form a corporation or something like that, whatever state you're in, give me a call. But for the most part, if you get in a car accident in any way, I can refer a case out. And yeah, y'all gonna show me some love, especially since y'all tight with these super chats. I need 4 more super chats to get it popping. Somebody said Georgia. Yeah, I know somebody in Georgia that can take your case. I know somebody in PA that can take your case. Wherever you are, you got a lawyer. You know me. Y'all talk to me every day. You know I'm gonna be every day. I'm not gonna be one of those lawyers that you can't reach out to. You can call my office right now. Somebody answer the phone. But anyway, I want to get back to this broadcast. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, make sure you make it a plan to patronize Black-owned businesses, especially Black-owned professionals, because you'll have more if you patronize them, whether they're doctors. I go out of my way to make sure I have a Black doctor. You live longer if you have a Black doctor. That's just the studies show that. Okay. If somebody said, yeah, I am licensed to practice law in New York, Illinois, Michigan, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. And for the most part, I can get anywhere I need to be. But we'll talk about that later. You guys got my number up there, 713-229-0770. If you've been in an accident, give me a call. But let's get back to the broadcast. Shout out to everybody who's contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. We almost there, man. All I need is 3 more super chats, man. Shout out to Elevated Engineer. I appreciate y'all coming through. Let's finish this blessing of a lesson. Oh, man, bars. And y'all like my new haircut? Look at that, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Uncle D look about 5 or 6, 7 years younger, man. Look at shout out to me with that little something, man. My lady liked it too. But big shout out to everybody. We need 3 more super chats and we'll be popping. Now, how can you use your money strategically to advance your other interests in a way similar to what I talked about with family? I've talked about paying my kids, for good. Let's talk about it. Okay. So here we go. Right. Educational incentives. Offer financial incentives for good grades. All right. Completing educational programs. Or mastering new skills. This is not only motivates, but it also instills the value of education and hard work in your family. I'm paying my little nephew now. He bring me a good grade. I tell him I'm gonna give you $10 for every A. I'll give you $10 for every A. Whatever A's you get in your class, I give you $10. He turned up. He's 10 years old. He like, yeah. You understand what I mean? And so now, not only are you extending your reach past your own immediate family into your greater family. And that just makes you greater. The other thing you do, you can fund extracurricular activities like sports and arts or tech clubs that align with your family values and long-term goals. And this encourages your children and the children in your community to explore their interests and develop skills that'll benefit them in the future. Now, here's my thing. I focus on my family. I try to look to the children in my family and I give them a little bit of what I'm doing for my own children. Now, I'm not going to overextend myself and I'm not going to step on any of these parents' toes that happen to be my relatives. But I will tell you this, once they Uncle D starts giving them kids $10 for every A, they're gonna start getting better grades. And the parents invariably gonna say, well, man, you know, I might not agree with my brother or my uncle, but damn, he's done a heck of a job with his own kids. And I wish my sons or my daughters had a little something of what his have. Let me go get at him and let me talk to him and get his advice. And that's when you become a patriarch, when people start coming to you for help. It's almost like being the Godfather. You ever seen those movies? That's what the patriarch, people come to you for help. And that's a blessing. Every man wants to provide service. You are built and hardwired to want to provide services. You want to serve. You want to be needed. And so just keep that in mind. It's better to be the giver than the receiver, because the one who receives is in need. The one who can give has plenty. Keep that in mind. Shout out to my man, Your Excellence. Thank you for that $50 super chat. All this comes back. Donate this love and truth together. Yeah, man, you getting blessed over here. And funny thing is, a lot of the money you guys give me, I give it away anyway. It's crazy how that ends up working. But I make donations to Southern University, donations to different places, donations to different colleges. So, you know, I pass the blessings on. I'm good, but I want to be compensated for my time. Don't have me out here playing me. And I see what y'all do when you had them little young ladies, they be saying the same stuff, and they had their little chi-chi squeezed together like that, and y'all just be donating. I see what you do. I'm watching y'all. I'm watching all of y'all. All you so-called red pill dudes. All they got to do is squeeze their little chi-chis together and give you some teeth, and y'all donate $100, $50, $300. I see you. I'm watching you. But either way, shout out to everybody else who contributed. So let's continue. So more strategic ways you can advance your interests. Educational incentives, also personal development. Invest in health and fitness, and encourage your family members to maintain a healthy lifestyle by offering rewards, consistent with exercise. If your old lady, you love her, she is size 10, 12, 14, she's able to reduce that girth down to a 10 or 8, you need to buy something nice for her, man. You need to do something for her. If she's able to go from a wide back to a mini back, you need to do something for that woman. I'm just trying to tell you, brothers, you need to encourage your woman to maintain a healthy lifestyle. If she decides to throw all the butter and salt out of the house and start cooking with quinoa and low carb stuff, you need to encourage that. Healthy eating, right? Participating in fitness programs. Use your money to incentivize that sort of positive culture. It creates a culture where well-being within the family is something that's sought after. Okay. Other thing is offer financial backing for attending seminars and workshops or coaching sessions that help personal growth. You know your woman has issues. Hey, baby, I know you and I both know you crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and give you $100 every time you see one of these doctors over here to talk about your issues. It might cost you $1,000, but after 10 sessions, she might have some breakthroughs. And that way, guess what? You promote what? More peace of mind and happiness. And of course, there's always self-help. So you use your money to influence your family. You don't just sit up there and hoard it. Don't just give it to them. Make them do something for it. Make them do something positive for it. Other things is like family projects. Use your money to fund family projects. Start a small business. Invest in property or work on community service initiatives. Coffee King International is something that I kind of use. It's like my family-run business. It's something that my boys can do. It's something that the wife can do. Some of you guys may invest in property, or you may have community service projects. It teaches financial responsibility, but it also strengthens the family bonds. It is so cool to be able to show up at the jiu-jitsu academy or show up at Shotokan. My whole family there. I'm there. My son's there. The wife's there. My cousin's there. Not my cousin. My little nephew's there. Sometimes my family comprises the entire class at our karate class. That's dope. That's positivity, that they'll remember, you see? And again, it begins to change the culture in a positive way. I want you to think about these ideas, okay? Other things, home improvement. Shout out to my man, Jaharat. He said, honest question, if a black man are in the 50s plus medium income. Why is the Black community the most impoverished? Is it due to unbalance of men having biological children? It's largely due to the fact of our spending habits, fam. But we'll deal with that in a minute. You can be broke and not poor. And that might be something we have to wrestle with, but you could be broke and not poor. So, but I'm gonna hit that up in a minute. Let me finish this broadcast. But shout out to you. Again, incentivizing, or should I incentivizing? Let's say it like this: provide allowances tied to specific responsibilities or chores around your house. And I know many of us grew up, and it was because I said so. Go clean the toilet. Go clean the backyard. Right? But if you give your kid an allowance, hey, you washing my car, I pay you $5 a month to wash my car, $5 a month to dump the trash on trash day. That's $10, but you got labor. You can't get the Venezuelans aren't gonna work that cheap. You know what I'm saying? But what this does is it helps your children, your family members understand the relationship between work and reward. Somebody type work and reward in the chat room. And it reinforces the value of contributing to the household. Offer higher rewards for more complex tasks like, critical thinking, problem solving, or leadership, helping to develop these skills. My oldest son went from dumping the trash. I paid him $10 a month. He then went to, I think I added cleaning my car to it. And now he drives me around. So I increased his, I got my own personal Uber driver. He drives me around town. So I've increased his allowance to like $120 a month. You see what I mean? While the other ones have moved up, and I think my youngest son gets 20. My second oldest gets $80, and the oldest gets 120. And that makes them happy. You see what I mean? And so I've incentivized, or should I say I've tiered the rewards for advanced tasks, okay? The other thing is useful financial rewards to reinforce positive behavior, such as, cooperation, good manners, right? Have you taught your children how to conduct themselves in public? Do you reward them for that? I know they're supposed to do it, but still, they don't have to. They can be in the restaurant and cut a fool if they want to. You understand what I'm saying? Have you rewarded your children for learning conflict resolution? We need some conflict resolution in the Black community, don't we? What if we began to reward our children financially for resolving conflicts within the household, and then that extends out into the community? This is how you incentivize this stuff. Don't just tell them, reward them from doing it, right? And what this does is it encourages a harmonious household environment, and that will extend out into the community. Set up a system where the family members can earn money for achieving long-term goals, like saving a certain amount of money, staying committed to healthy lifestyles, or pursuing personal passions. I told my sons very early on, your job is to lift weights, work out, go to martial arts. And if you do that, I'll pay you an allowance. If you do your allowance, if you do your chores around the house, I'll pay you allowance. You do what daddy says, I'll buy you a nice expensive car, BMW. Now, of course, I'm not buying a new. You guys saw the broadcast from the other day. But the bottom line is it's a nice ride. You see what I mean? And he gets the luxuries and amenities associated with that luxury vehicle. So just keep that in mind. The other thing is provide seed money for family members to start their own ventures, such as small businesses, investments, or creative projects. And what this does is it empowers them to take initiatives and build something on their own. I told you guys this. My son's goal that I set for him is to have $100,000 in his bank account for money he's earned from working at my law firm, right? And some of you are saying, well, I don't have a law firm. And I told y'all earlier, this is not a broke man's conversation. This is not a powerless man's conversation. This is not a weak man's conversation. This is for high value men. This is for these, the blue Henrys, as Kevin Samuels used to say. Okay, high earning, not rich yet. This is not an everybody conversation. If you don't fall within this, that means you need to work harder. You need to set yourself up. You cannot be a patriarch if you broke, powerless, and weak. It just don't work. Okay? So don't be offended, be motivated. Now, the other thing is, I'm saying, son, you need $100,000 and you're gonna work in my office for the next 5 or 6 years till you get through college and law school, and you're gonna have 100 racks. That's what I'm telling you. You're gonna have 100,000 in the bank. And what is he gonna be able to do with that when he graduates? Well, he'll be able to fund his own law practice if he wants to. He'll be able to buy his own home. Okay, you got to offer financial assistance for educational career advancement, pay for certifications, college tuition. All right, start a new career path. And this ensures that your family members have tools that they need to succeed. You got to pay for that. You're the patriarch. You brought those kids into the world. You married that woman. You understand? And even if you didn't marry, those are your children. Right? Look, I get why we have a problem with child support. So do I. Okay. But when it comes to your kid needing to go to college, you need to be able to do that. Okay. The other thing is, and when you get a little advanced, you maybe want to think about charitable donations, right? Giving back a little bit, because it sets a great precedent for your kid. It's not all about me. It allows them to realize money is a tool. It's a great lesson. And the other thing is, you want to establish investment goals. And I kind of hinted on that before. You want to reach milestones. You start some savings accounts, some investment accounts. My sons have stock accounts, checking accounts, and savings account. And this teaches them financial literacy and the importance of long-term planning. You use money to create family trust, something I've done. Family scholarship, something I've done. Invest in property that'll benefit future generations. And that'll ensure your family's legacy. It's nothing that says grandpa was great, or great-great-granddaddy was great, like an estate with his name on it that's held in a trust that nobody can sell. Okay? So y'all keep that in mind. The other thing is you want to fund activities that, enhance cultural and spiritual growth, right? Go to historical sites. When I was down in the Dominican Republic, I took my sons to Santo Domingo, and we went to the slave ports, and I do remember their faces. It was a very intriguing visit for them. They'd never seen anything like that. They were little. They were probably 8, 9 years old at that point. Shout out to my man, Your Excellence. Thank you, man. You came through for me. All you guys, I'm going to read these comments. I see the super chats coming through. Thank you guys so much. And if you enjoy what I'm doing, man, make sure you contribute. Show me some love for this hard work. But bottom line is, you go to these historical sites, it enriches your family's understanding of heritage and values. It helps increase IQ points, right? It lets them know the world. They can reach out and touch different parts of the world, helps them create understanding. Provide resources for learning about different cultures, language. Pay your kids to learn Spanish. If you learn 10 Spanish words, I give $1 for each word. By the time you finish with them, they will have made $1,000, but they'll have a 1,000-word vocabulary in Spanish. Isn't that dope? Had y'all thought about that? $1 a word? Just think about that, fam. Look at the power that you have with a few dollars that you could throw. This is the same money you would spend on a pair of tennis shoes and a night out, right? Right. So just think about that. The other thing is building leadership skills, because as a patriarch, the most important thing you can do is get somebody to replace you. That's why legacy is important. You reward your family members who take on leadership roles within the family or in external organization. And this encourages them to develop the skills necessary to lead and make decisions. Shout out to the military guys. They teach you how to be leaders out there. And so you can take those and incorporate them right back into your family structure. Now, I know you might have some undisciplined troops, but for the most part, you can do that within your own family. Some of our best fathers have been guys who have been in the military because they know what leadership looks like. You got to use your financial resources to connect your family members with mentors who can help them grow personally and professionally. One of the most important things I did when my oldest son was in middle school, I hired a gentleman who is now the director of the math department at one of the local universities. And that was one of the best things I could have done. So he literally was being tutored by a math professor who is now running the department. So those are just some ideas for how you can use your wealth and what patriarchs need to do. The main points of this discussion is we talked about the strategic use of money. Money should be used not just for personal gain, but also as a powerful tool to achieve broader objectives like family success, political influence, and maintaining generational wealth. It has the potential to shape outcomes, create opportunities, and reinforce values that ensure long-term success. You want these results, you got to pay for the results that you want. All right, you want to incentivize success and cooperation. Money can be used within the family to incentivize positive behaviors and contributions. For example, rewarding hard work like household duties or personal achievement that encourages a culture of success and cooperation. You see, instead of just giving money, provide opportunities for family members to earn it. This teaches the value of hard work and responsibility, and it reinforces the idea that financial rewards come from effort and contribution. A true patriarch leads by example, sacrificing personal desires for the well-being of the family. Generosity. All right, you can't be cheap and be a patriarch. Generosity, not just with money, but also with time and effort. This is crucial for maintaining respect and authority within the family. Being a patriarch requires financial stability. If a man cannot provide the sacrifice for his family, he can't expect to be respected as the head of the household. Financial responsibility is the cornerstone of leadership. Okay, fellas, this is not a broke man conversation. Remember that. So if you're offended, you need to work harder. Okay? Fellas, you got to engage with your women. And you got to make sure that they are willing to live within your means. And we're going to talk about that soon, because having a woman in your life that's not willing to live within your means or has unrealistic expectations, that's going to lead to frustration and an unsustainable relationship. And both you and her, right, should contribute meaningfully to the household. But if she's not willing to live within your means, it's a problem. We also talked about because I said so. Somebody typed because I said so. Because I said so is not enough. Fathers, dad, you should explain the reasons behind the requests to your children, the commands to your children. This builds trust, understanding, and respect. And this approach helps children internalize values and take responsibility. And you teach them how to be the parents that you want them to be to your grandchildren. Now, for my Black American brothers and sisters, especially my brothers, you need to recognize the importance of using economic power to influence politics. Voting alone is not enough. Voting alone is not enough. Financial backing is necessary to protect and advance community interests. Money in politics, it's the lifeblood of it. And the other thing, building alliances. What did I say? Make your friends before you need them. In other words, building alliances with influential people such as politicians, judges, business leaders, that's essential. These relationships should be established long before you need them, and it ensures the support and reciprocity when challenges arise. Now, money should be used to build a lasting legacy through investments, saving, strategic philanthropy, planning for the future, and that ensures that the values and influence of the family endure across generations. Okay? So those are the main points. Now, we're going to take another quick break, and I'm going to come back, and I'm about to cook a couple, y'all. I'm just telling you, we about to have a barbecue when I get back. Hang around. It's going to be a barbecue when I get back. I'm going to run a little video to make y'all feel good before I hit you in the stomach. Uncle D will be right back.
Blizzard King. Gotta watch your back, even family that's amongst you. Got a slut ass auntie and a cool ass uncle. Kinda won't front you, but let you ride the whip around the block like you stunts. Don't do a lot of bumping. When your mama call when her ex-man jumping, all you see is feet and her ex-man stomping. That's my Uncle D, that's why the Blizzard King coming. Hot girl winter, Blizzard King summer. My we's a coming. No singing and no humming, talking we shall overcome it. Got him leaking, I'm the plumber. My nigga made Zoom look cool, yeah, you funny. What else Uncle D gotta prove more money? Overlook the tunes, if gotta shun him. Brotherhood over any woman. Cause if she play no role, then she fam, and she good. When we say brother, my sister, we mean the hood. Now homie pop the trunk, it's been reeking just like a skunk. We can serve your knowledge, your ditch just how you want. He just run his mouth and that bullshit we debunk. In a sunken place, he's thinking that drunk. He don't even drinking, I tell you that drunk. My nephew told me I wanna be just like my uncle. He don't even drinking, I tell you that drunk. My nephew told me I wanna be just like my uncle. Brand good, suit and tie, lawyer reppin' manhood. He don't tap dance, he overstand, he playing good. Titles don't get it, most of us getting ambushed. Mayonnaise, clam bush, buck broken, man tush. Woke up in the morning, got walk, that's on my mind. Peace can only come when you're low and order divine. I stay entwined, you keep a criminal mind. How you think I shine and stay from falling behind? He got open eyes and can't see it, he blind. You nice all the time, they tell you water is wine. Slaughter all your sons and leave your daughters behind. All she wanna do is flash that big behind. The music is the garbage they use to take you down. You used to rap intelligent, now you rapping like clowns. My prerogative, you thinking like Bobby Brown. Rest in peace to Whitney, Christina, that's underground. Wake up years later, you've been around. Water up to your neck and watching you as you drown. How you scoring touchdown again and you out of bounds? All the black men getting passports out of town. Homie pop the trunk, it's been reeking just like a skunk. We can serve your knowledge, your dishes just how you want. He just run his mouth and that shit we debunk. In the sunken place, he singing that good song. He don't even drinking, I tell you that the drunk. My nephew told me I wanna be just like my uncle. He don't even drinking, I tell you that the drunk. Nephew told me I wanna be just like my uncle. My Uncle D, 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 favorite uncle, Uncle D, my Uncle D, my Uncle D, my Uncle D, favorite uncle, my Uncle D, my Uncle D, my favorite uncle, Blizzard King, Uncle D, Uncle D, Uncle D, Uncle D, my favorite uncle, what? Uncle D, my favorite uncle, my Uncle D. My Uncle D, yeah, Uncle D.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get the music playing for this roasting. We're about to barbecue a little bit, so let me put some mood music in the background here. But first, I want to take the time to read these super chats. Shout out to Gerard. He said, honest question. If black men are in the 50 plus median income, why is the black community the most impoverished? Is it due to imbalance, men having biological children? Well, here's the thing. There are a lot of women out there who have decided to breed with men who they probably otherwise shouldn't have bred with. Now, I'm going to take an opportunity I'm going to touch on that in a minute. Okay, but for the most part, you have a lot of children who are being sired by the same group of men, more or less. Okay, the other aspect of it is spending habits, and leadership starts with men, fellas. And I'm not going to let you guys escape that, because see, I'm going to hold you to the same standards that I hold myself to. I don't make any excuses for myself. I'm a very difficult person to be around. But I'm my own worst critic. I would never ask you to do anything that I would do for myself. You guys see me take this 50-year-old body and practice jujitsu, lift weights. You see me tussling around on the floor with my children, with other people. And so I'm not going to ask you to do it. And largely the reason I do that is because I ask my sons to do it. So when it comes to financial discipline, we have a lack of financial discipline in the black community. And it starts with the men. And fellas, I love you. You guys know I love you. But again, I want to see you ball. I want to see you rich. I want to see you doing well. I want to see you living a lavish life. But you're not going to get to that goal if you continue to spend your money, your hard-earned money, poorly. In a society, in a country where we have 22 million millionaires, which represents 40% of the millionaires, of the population of millionaires that exist in the world. What that means is if there are 100 millionaires in the entire world, all the countries, that means 40 of them live in the United States. And what that tells you is that this truly is the land of prosperity And all you have to do is figure out what your angle is going to be to pull some of that down for you. But even if you do that, if you're constantly spending your money and wasting it and spending it on items that depreciate, then, you know, you're not getting your true value. You're not getting the appreciating value for it. So that would be my answer to that. Shout out to my man, Your Excellence. He said, I think the problem has always been bad leadership. The leaders of the Black community have always been Black female. That's my thought. No, brother. There was a time when Black men and Black women were the most married group, and you had Black men in the household. Unfortunately, those men made some errors. You see, one of the errors was that we focused on the separate as opposed to equal. Instead of saying, hey, we'll keep our own communities, but we want them to be equally funded. We want our schools to be equally funded. We want the opportunity to have equal employment, equal housing. Instead of focusing on equal, we focused on the separate. No, we don't need equal. We'll just come over here and use the facilities of the dominant society. We'll live in their households. We'll attend their schools. We'll use their buses instead of having our own bus lines. We'll use their school teachers, their universities. And so what ended up happening was we took a wrong turn. It's a hard lesson learned, but remember, we're people who largely came fresh out of, chattel slavery and did very well for ourselves. It's just that we took a wrong turn. So yeah, but it is leadership, and we can't blame Black women for that. At the end of the day, the man is the leader. We're talking about patriarchs. We're talking about being patriarchal. No excuses. Do or die. Okay, fellas, and that's where I'm at. Okay. Shout out to Dario Value. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That words mean so much to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate the value. Now, family, people, brothers. You see, I turned the lights down a little low. Okay, because there's a brutal truth that we're gonna have to deal with right now. Are y'all with me? About to barbecue. And I want to be brutally honest with you all. Marriage, having a family, they aren't for every man. Some of you all don't deserve a wife. Some of you all don't deserve the right to reproduce. And history has proven this time and time again. The cold reality is that most men throughout history have never married or fathered children. And life isn't fair. Not every man is fit to be a patriarch, a husband, a father. It takes strength and discipline and the willingness to sacrifice, qualities that are in short supply among those who want rewards of a patriarchy without responsibilities. Here's the irony. Many of these so-called red pill men are clamoring for the return of the traditional patriarchal values, but they fail to realize that they're the very men who would be left out in a true patriarchal society. If you can't secure a woman now in this modern day sexual free-for-all where standards have dropped to an all-time low and options are plentiful, what makes you think you stand a chance in a world where strong, dominant, patriarchal men are empowered? You got to go through that man to deal with his daughter. You got to go through his brothers, his sons, his nephews, just to get to one of those daughters. What chance do you think you have dealing with somebody like me? You don't stand a chance. And I would tell you boldly and unapologetically, you haven't done enough, you haven't proven enough, you're not man enough to be with my daughter or my niece. See, the harsh truth is that women have the right to pick and choose. And in this current environment, even men who would otherwise be deemed unfit to father children marry, and they're able to do so. But don't mistake this for a permanent shift in power. If the pendulum swings back to a true patriarchy, only the strongest, most capable men will rise to the top. Men who command respect. Men who provide for their families and lead with authority. So before you start fantasizing about reinstating the patriarchal system, ask yourself this. If you can't thrive now, what makes you think you'll thrive and survive then? If you're struggling to establish yourself as a leader in your own life, what makes you believe you can lead a family or a community under stricter, more demanding conditions? This is a reality. Being a patriarch isn't a birthright. It's something you earn through hard work, sacrificing, and unwavering commitment. If you're not prepared to meet those standards, then maybe it's time to face the fact that marriage and family aren't your path. Not every man is cut out, and that's okay. But don't delude yourself into thinking you can claim the rewards of patriarchy without embodying its demands. Only the strongest will survive, and only the strongest will truly lead. Thank you all. I appreciate you. I hope you appreciate this broadcast. This is Uncle D, the Blizzard King, and as I always say at this time, I'm out.
In the Spurling podcast, hit the like button, subscribe.